Hello, how's it going, my friends? I know it's been a while, but it is really good to see you guys. Lately, I have been feeling inspired to make things again. For a long time, I've been focusing on building up my life and in general, just trying to find out who I am. And I think I've gotten to a point that I know what the answer is. And I feel comfortable putting new stuff out there for you guys. For a long time, my relationship with content creation felt like I had to make this my career, like I had to succeed, live up to expectations that weren't even set by me, and so I kind of just stopped. But now I know I just want to do it when it feels right and when I enjoy it. It only took like 8 years, so pretty good timing in my opinion. Anyways, I have really been enjoying seeing creators just read stories from across the internet, whether they be like whimsical, spooky, shocking, relatable. It's all really cool to hear, and long form content in general is just a good vibe for me. But I can't really help but notice how much of it is voiced by AI. I think now more than ever, it's really important to have human beings reading these human stories. Plus, it just sounds like a lot of fun to do. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Reading some stories and playing some marathon. I've been really addicted to it lately, and so I hope this entertains you a little bit. Here we go. This one is from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for not attending my daughter's gender reveal for her lizard? Oh, here we go. I think I already know how this one's gonna end, but let's just run it. This is literally really stupid, but she is really upset about it. So, my 48 daughter, 23, has a blue-tongued skink who she heavily adores. She jokingly refers to it as her daughter. I found it weird, but she says it's because it's the closest thing she'd have to a child, and she feels a strong emotional bond similar to a child. She has decided to remain child-free for multiple reasons, and I've been very supportive of this decision. Well, she recently took her skink to the vet for a checkup, and she was excited to find out her skink's gender. Afterwards, I got a text asking if I'd come to her gender reveal party she was having. She explained it was just a small get-together with cake and food for her friends she hasn't seen in a while, with the gender reveal being mostly a joke and a way to make fun of gender reveals. Well, I didn't go. I didn't see a point. It's just a lizard and I'm a busy person. She later called me and expressed she was kind of sad I didn't come because it had been a while since I'd seen her, but she understood I was busy. I told her she couldn't actually expect me to come to a gender reveal for a lizard. She said that it wasn't a real gender reveal, that was more of a joke, and it was really just a small gathering to catch up with everyone. I told her that if that was the case, she should have just called it a gathering because I am not coming to a gender reveal unless it's for a real granddaughter. She got quiet for a minute, and then turned my words around, claiming I wasn't supportive of her decision to be child-free. I told her she can't possibly expect me to treat a lizard as a granddaughter. She said she didn't expect me to, but it was clear I didn't respect her bond with her lizard and her decision. She just wanted to see me, and my reason for not coming was hurtful. I told her she was being ridiculous over a lizard. She claimed it wasn't over the lizard and it was a gathering and not even centered around the lizard, but I stick by to what I said. It's ridiculous to have a gender reveal for a lizard. She hung up and I got a message from her best friend about how I'm an asshole for treating her that way. But I don't think I'm an asshole for not wanting to go to a party for a lizard? Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, you're the asshole. Oh my god. I think the craziest thing here is that this mom kept on saying, well, I respect her decision to be child-free. I respect her decision to be child-free. But then she turned this around and really made it about her desire for her daughter to have a real granddaughter. It definitely doesn't sound like in any way did you actually respect her decision to be child-free and turned what was basically just a fun get-together into something about you and your desires. Your daughter even said this is just a fun get-together and it wasn't really a serious gender reveal. I think anyone who is above the age of, I don't know, puberty at this point knows how silly and goofy gender reveals have become, and something like this is really just a fun tongue-in-cheek way to get people together nowadays. So the fact that you decided this was the time to make it about how you still want a granddaughter is pretty insane. Also, this just sounds like fun, like a fun whimsical get-together for a skink. The skinks are really, really cool, and like having like a cool party hat on a skink or some shit with like a photo set of how cool the skink looks, that would be so fun. You have zero whimsy in your life. That is crazy. I want to read some of the comments here because they were really good. You're the asshole. That's your grand lizard. It was obviously not just about the gender reveal and your daughter just wanted to see you. 100% exactly. It was just a fun party and you turned it into something about you. Nuts. You're the asshole. Your daughter sounds cool though. I'd totally go to a lizard gender reveal. That sounds hilarious. This next one says, you're the asshole. It wasn't for the lizard, it was for your daughter. If you're too busy to do nice things for your family or apparently even tell them you aren't coming, then just say that. But don't hide behind some ridiculous moral stance of it being not a real gender reveal. Honestly, this whole post just screams, I only give a shit about my kid if she's having babies, and that's pretty vile. I was going to read some of the comments from the OP, but she really just doubles down about how this isn't a real gender reveal and I deserve to have a real granddaughter. This isn't the same thing, which is crazy. She does have an update in this post, which says, in the time I was away, I got many replies and it was a lot to read through. Let me clear a couple things up. 1. My issue is that she said the party was a gender reveal. If she had called it just a party, I would have come. And calling it a gender reveal makes it sound like it's for the lizard, and I'm not going to that even if it is a joke. 2. I don't know why it matters, but the skink is a girl, which is why I said I'm not coming to a gender reveal unless it's for a real granddaughter. Oh my god, lady, have some whimsy in your life and stop trying to make your daughter live vicariously through another child that isn't yours and you're never gonna have. Goodness. Okay. 3. Even though I don't agree with my daughter for being child-free, okay, I have been supportive, okay, and only shown mild frustration. The reason she decided to be child-free is she claims she's asexual. She just doesn't want one. She has emotional baggage and feels unable to care for a real child. She fears pregnancy, and she has a carrier gene like me and doesn't want to go through what I did. I had 4 miscarriages and a highly defect child that died after 3 months due to the gene. Yes, there has been slight tension between us because I think she just hasn't found the right man. She never dated growing up, and her other fears are unnecessarily exaggerated. But it's ultimately her decision and I don't resent her. 4. We haven't seen each other in 3 months. I'm a single mother and we've always been close, which is why she invited me with her friends. I just don't want to go to a party with a lizard, and even if it wasn't for the lizard, she should have called it a party instead of a gender reveal. Yeah, man. I think no matter what your poor daughter would have done, you would have found a problem with it. You have so much resentment for her not having a kid, and it seems like you don't even respect her sexuality. If she says she's asexual and doesn't want a child, that's not for you to say, you just haven't found the right man. Just on every front, it really sounds like you don't respect your daughter or her wishes, and you can't envision her life being different from your experience, which is pretty concerning. I hope your daughter finds happiness and you find a way to be empathetic toward people who don't live the exact same life you do. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. This next one is from Girl Dinner Diaries. I actually love this sub. I've been having such a good time reading this one. This one has like popped up pretty recently on my Reddit, and it's been great. Some of these have been amazing. My husband wants a divorce because I will not serve him food. Also, I'm gonna put a picture of the food up. It actually looks really good. Looks like a sausage with guac, a salad. Ooh, an egg too. A little bit of bacon. It's like a BLT salad, but kind of deconstructed. Anyways, I'm hungry. I'm perpetually hungry. This looks good. But here we go. I am absolutely exhausted. I don't even know where to begin. When we first got together 8 years ago, I didn't have anything. I worked any job that I could get to help out. We had tons of activities we enjoyed together. We both took care of cleaning and ate separately or got fast food together. Fast forward to now, and we have two beautiful children. In the past 2 years, I went back to school and got my RN degree, making me the official breadwinner. I work 12 plus hour shifts while he works the typical 8 plus hour shift as a department supervisor for a retail chain. He's worked this same management role since I've met him and cannot seem to get promoted, capping his income while mine has nearly doubled. Within the last few months, I feel exhausted. I drink almost every night to cope and numb the resentment. Last night we got into an argument because after 7+ years of being the one responsible for cooking, grocery shopping, meal planning, and serving food, I looked at him and said, "I hate cooking." This turned into an explosive argument to which he called me fat because I serve myself food and cook, but don't do any of that for him. And he's so skinny because I never cook for him or serve him food. According to him, I never serve him food. I only serve myself and the kids. On top of this explosive argument, we've been fighting for the last year because of how much a chore sex has become as well. According to him, he wants me to initiate sex because one time I rejected him, so he's just not going to try anymore. So great, another burden on my plate. Now I'm responsible for planning and initiating sex too. So sexy, wow, I know. I'm just tired, y'all. I just got to a really good point in my life and was trying to go back for one more year to get my BSN degree. But after last night, I am so numb. Done all this to provide a more comfortable life for my family, yet my husband refuses to accommodate to these changes or be considerate of how any of this has changed my life. He has a breadwinner for a wife and still insists that I prepare and serve 3 meals a day like a fucking trad wife. Oh, and he claims the reason I don't want to do it is because I'm selfish, lazy, and don't give a fuck about him enough to do it. I know this is not an Am I the Asshole post, but I can tell you right now, your husband is the asshole. Holy. First, okay, congrats on your RN degree, and please don't give up on your BSN because of your husband. After like 12 plus hour shifts, I would 100% at some point complain to my partner that I hate cooking out of like exhaustion and frustration randomly. He 100% took that and said, "How can I make this about me tonight, baby?" To call you lazy and selfish when you're clearly working really hard to provide for your kids and for him while working on your career is like super diabolical as a partner. It doesn't really feel like a partnership, like especially when you're making food that's looking good. And look, I'm sure your husband feels emasculated and insecure because American nuclear family, the husband has to be the big meat, super big toxic masculinity arc. I know how it is. But in this economy, I would be super happy that me and my partner together were making ends meet and surviving. Like at the end of the day, that's what a partnership is. And he's choosing to focus on his own insecurities before the partnership between you guys. And look, hot take, but feeling insecure because you don't feel like you're providing enough financially is super understandable, especially in American society. I think the big problem is that he's choosing to act on it in a way that is making you feel as small as he does, which is a huge asshole move when you're coming back from a 12-hour shift, bro. A 12-hour shift. I can kind of understand your husband's frustrations. I'm unemployed right now, and I'm constantly feeling like I'm dragging my partner down because I can't provide as much as I used to. It's why I have like extra time to make this video, small victory. But I internally care about that a lot more than I think my partner does. And I internally care a lot more about the feelings of my partner than my own like inner voices in me that are, you know, telling me that I suck. And there's nights like my partner wants to order DoorDash and I'm like, "Babe, sorry, can't split the bill right now." And of course my partner says, "Babe, holy shit, you're pathetic, nasty ass, god damn, you smell crazy, babe, like disgusting." No, my partner says, "Babe, I don't mind paying for both of us. It is not a problem." Communicating with your partner where you're at is so important. And it really feels like your husband has no interest in helping you or yourself in this situation. Plus, if I had a shift that was 4 hours shorter than my partner's, I would be offering to help in any way I could to make my partner's life easier. It's not like 8-hour shifts aren't grueling as well, but that's 4 more hours of the day that he knows you're working. Okay, before I read the comments, last thing, because I've already been yapping a while for this one. 3 meals a day? Him expecting 3 meals a day when you're working that entire day, probably more than 5 days a week, is crazy. Half of my meals are like Hot Pockets and popcorn because I don't want to think about making food. And I could guarantee you my partners are probably looks the same. And with kids too, that's even harder. So I think you're doing amazing. And I think your husband is a huge dick. Okay, last thing for real, because this one just made me mad and I'm going to go on the story forever if I don't move on. But you rejecting him for sex one time and him then turning it into a, well, now you got to do it every time. Like, bro, I'm so... As her, she probably just got off like a 12-hour shift of like, I don't know, like someone throwing up on her. And sorry she doesn't feel sexy or wants to like fucking flick your worm when she gets home, man. Like one no, and you have turned it into a huge deal. Like, oh, fuck you, buddy. Fuck you. I want to read some of the comments here. He's an insecure and jealous loser. God damn. God damn. He's an insecure and jealous loser who knows that he's never come close to reaching his potential. Meanwhile, his wife, whom he should be ludicrously proud of, by the way, is streaks ahead of him, earning more, learning more, and just all around a better person. And it's killing him. So he has to put you back in your place as bangmaid and mother far beneath him. I've heard bangmaid as a term in such a long time. That basically just means she takes really great care of the house. Of course, you don't want to have sex with him. I'm surprised you can stomach even being in the same room as him. You've outgrown him. Your life will be better, freer, and happier without him in it. If you stay, he will steadily erode your confidence until there is none left. You're already thinking about giving up pursuing your degree. Don't. You'll also teach your kids that this is how men behave and this is how women endure. Please don't do that. It will ruin their lives. Divorce won't. I promise. 100% agree. I don't know why he is so hell-bent on making your life suck. Just because maybe he doesn't feel like his is going anywhere. It's totally okay to feel that way, and it's totally okay to feel insecure about that, but to resent your partner over that is so immature on so many levels. Another comment says, yeah, it sounds like a power thing. He's feeling inferior, so instead of addressing that internal feeling, he's putting it on you, so you have to fix it for him. He's feeling small because of your career change and his stagnation, so he has to make you feel little. He's feeling undesirable because he feels he's not bringing a lot to the table to be desired, so now you have to put in all the work to make him feel desired. Dude needs a reality check. I'm proud of you and your accomplishments, OP. Hold the line, and maybe he'll feel like he actually has to have a real conversation instead of trying to bully you. He's feeling awfully entitled to someone who doesn't need him. His commenters are on point, dude. There is one update from her as well. I knew this post would hit home with some, but I wasn't expecting so much support on my part. I'm by no means Miss Demure and Perfection. Simply reflecting on the comments made in the explosive argument really made me take a step back and question, when did it get this bad? When did we get so comfortable being horrible to one another? We met when I was 19, he was 28. Yes, I was young, dumb, and ignorant to the world. I was a stubborn teenager who thought she could make something of herself and build a loving family at the same time. I did things that I thought would drive our ambitions, not drive us apart. I just want to finish this by saying this is real. This is my life. Thank you everyone for your thoughts, opinions, and advice. This didn't all happen in one night. It is years of unresolved arguments and resentment building up. I wish I could have fixed my relationship, but there's nothing to fix, and it's a horribly angry and devastating feeling. Before we move on, he was 28 when you were 19. That is insane. I hope you get out, and I hope you continue to work on your degree because you're pretty awesome. Keep being amazing. This next one is a little more lighthearted. My friend Jess sent this to me. This one is from our coworker stories. Locker room pooper identified. A couple days ago, I posted that someone shit on the floor at the woman's locker room at my hospital and then vanished without the slightest effort at cleanup. At the time, there were no witnesses and no clues to the pooper's identity. Investigators, me and my colleagues, were stymied. Until yesterday afternoon, that is, when the pooper committed another brazen attack. Oh my god, we got a poop terrorist. I work in surgery, and when the procedure is finished, the surgical technologist packs our instruments into a cart and sends them down an elevator to the decontamination room. We have a number of traveling techs working with us right now, and yesterday around the shift change time, as one of them was wheeling her cart towards the elevator, one of my colleagues saw her pause, stick her leg out a little, and shake several poop nuggets out of her pant leg and onto the floor. She then rolled her cart onto the elevator, pressed the button, and walked away like nothing happened. I'm not working right now. My phone is blowing up with texts from colleagues. Apparently management has been notified, but the pooper doesn't yet know that she's been caught. We'll update further as the situation develops. Oh my god, she's doing a heist. She was doing a poop heist. Oh, not the poo-poo heist. She's just dropping that shit right there. Why would you do that? In what sounds like a surgery room. Oh, wait, this person is diabolical. Oh, okay, I have to start writing the updates because this is too good. Mini update. The pooper is scheduled for an 1100 shift today. Our manager just told the charge nurse that she, the pooper, has a meeting first thing when she gets in. And to not assign her any lunch breaks. I'm gonna go in at 1300 o'clock. We'll update again when I know more. Oh, this is like, they're having like a whole sting operation. Jesus Christ, soap, we gotta find the pooper. Update. Thanks for your patience, everyone. After I clock in, I'm expected to do at least some actual work before taking a break, so this is my first free moment to post. According to sources, our manager... According to sources, our manager intercepted the pooper before she made it into the department and whisked her away to the office for her meeting. What exactly happened there is currently unclear, but at the end of it, the pooper was taken to the locker room where she cleaned out her locker and was escorted to the parking garage by security staff. Note that this does not mean that the meeting was heated or violent. Security walkouts for terminated employees have been standard at my hospital for years. Following an incident in which two male employees got into a fistfight because they were both sleeping with the same dump truck of a nurse. I hope it wasn't the pooper, because there's probably a lot in that dump truck. Anyway, management is currently tight-lipped about the situation and will only say that the pooper has resigned and will not be returning. My charge nurse says that he heard the manager on the phone with security requesting the badge logs from the women's locker room. I guess they must have information about who has badged in at certain times. Perhaps they were able to place her at the scene of the crime. As far as how the pooping was carried out, the investigators, me and my work bestie, have a working theory. It's remotely possible that she pooped while actually in surgery and held the poop in her cheeks like a reverse hamster until she could reach her targets. The OR is full of strong smells, and between that and multiple rounds of COVID, many of us are basically nose blind. It's possible, however, that we have come to believe that she has trained herself to poop on the move like a horse on parade, because this explanation fits all the known facts. She's a very thin woman who routinely wears her pants a size too large. We think that this is deliberate in order to facilitate stealthy shitting. As far as why, we will probably never know. You'd think if she had a medical problem, she would have mentioned it at her meeting, and management would have worked with her. Was it a power move? A kink? No idea. We'll update again if I learn anything else. But that's what we have for right now. Oh my god, she was Operation Poopgate. Just dropping little nuggets, leaving grenades out. Oh, this is the type of shit my chihuahua does. Like, oh my god. This is like this type of shit a puppy does. Like, no, no, this is beyond that of a small animal. Her power is beyond that. She was leaving little poop nuggets to the pat. She was leaving poop nuggets in the OR because she hates these people. And she, oh my god, she let the poop fall out of her butt because she resented these people so much. Something had to have happened to turn her into this poop goblin. Oh, this person's kind of a legend. I mean, yeah, they're really disgusting, but they're kind of a legend. This is incredible. Oh god, I'm gonna read some of these comments. Oh. This person says, I had that happen in my last employer. It happens 3 times before we pointed... It happens 3 times before we pointed a security camera at the bathroom entrance to identify who it was. It miraculously stopped after that. During all this, our HR director told us it's actually more common than you think, and she had dealt with it with several prior employers. I thought it was totally crazy considering her background was professional service companies. There's a whole new world out there of poop goblins. This next comment just says, what the fuck? Another comment says, the idea of a lady just shitting like a horse in a parade has to be the funniest thing I've read all day. Oh my gosh, she's leaving a poop trail like fucking Bomberman. Oh my god. Wow. That's all I have for that one. Oh my god, what? Actually, that's not all I have. There is a little side story. Alright, OP updates. Enough people have asked about the dump truck of a nurse that I'm just gonna add the short version of that story here. Copy pasted and edited from a comment I wrote yesterday. Oh, thank god. It's not the same dump trucker. This was many years ago, and I was relatively new hire, so I wasn't included in a lot of the drama and gossip. Best I can recall, the nurse, a pyramid-shaped woman in her early 60s, was sleeping with both a scrub tech and a surgical assistant, both married. They found out about each other, and the assistant caught the scrub slashing his tires in the parking lot. A fight ensued, which got broken up by security. The dudes got separated, fired, and sent one at a time to get their stuff and leave the campus. I can't remember which one left first, but he apparently came back and lay in wait for the second guy in order to continue the fights. Security broke it up again, after which police were called, wives found out, and there was a lot of commotion. The nurse decided she didn't need this kind of drama and dumped both guys, then eventually quit and moved out of state. I never heard what the legal fallout was. This was significantly less interesting than the poop story because poop fell out of that woman's butt. I don't want to hear about the fallout about this lady being in a love triangle. I want to hear about the fallout of the poop falling out of the butt and why this woman did what she did. Oh, this was great. This was great. This was, wow. Okay, next story. This one is from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for not apologizing to a friend over adding a food she cannot eat to our group food delivery order? 1 month ago, I hosted a movie night for my 5 girlfriends in my apartment. I consider all of them close friends since they are basically all the friends I have here, and they also went to my wedding. I had been planning this for over a month, and I was really excited to watch the movie for a second time with my friends for a girls' night in. Before the movie, a friend called me to ask if it was okay to bring some fruit to make a drink. I told her yes, since most of us are okay with eating anything, and I thought it was a nice gesture from her part. The other friend I've known for around 2 years. She brought dessert, which is great. However, she's a bit of a picky eater, and because the drink we made had fruits and soda, she pointed out that she needed to sit away because she could not even be near it. This made my other friend feel a bit bad because she had put a lot of thought into making this, but we were okay with it in the end. After the movie, we started talking about what to order. We asked her first because we know it would be the hardest to choose, and she chooses chicken. Then another friend mentions she did not want chicken, but wanted sushi. So we decided to order from 2 different places. The friend who wanted chicken asked if the chicken was only for her, to which I replied, no, we'll eat from both places. Then she started to say we singled her out because she does not eat sushi, and she would throw up if she does. We mentioned the other friend did not want chicken, so we were ordering something that at least we all wanted to eat, and the check will be divided only from the place each of us ate. Obviously, we're not going to charge you for something you did not want to eat. However, she continued to say it wasn't fair, and after some discussion deciding what type of chicken, she ended up going to another room, got on her phone, and did not speak another word to us the rest of the night, only whispering to her best friend who was also invited. After eating awkwardly in a group, they both said they were going, and that was the last we spoke. That was 1 month ago. I sent a short message to the group chat thanking everyone for coming. She read, never reacted or replied. I then sent a reel to the same group chat. Again, no reply on her end. I didn't think it was such a big deal, but maybe I was wrong. Am I the asshole for not apologizing? Or for taking the stand I took and just have each of us order from somewhere we actually want? No, not the asshole at all. I don't know. This person just seems like really frustrating to be around. It seems like maybe there's some stuff that maybe she hasn't worked through. I don't know. I like to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Maybe like her family was like, I can't believe you want to order different food from us, like when she went out, or like when the family's door dashing or something, and now she's super insecure about that. In general, it just seems like this is a very insecure person who is making that insecurity everyone else's problem. And obviously they're not like the worst person in the world for that, but turning what is a pretty harmless, hey, if you want chicken and she wants sushi, let's just order from 2 different places and move on from it. Really not that big of a deal. I've probably been this person at some point in my life where I made every little thing a big deal when it didn't need to be, just because not everything is like perfectly in place. Oh, let's all order from the same place so we're all nice and happy. Life doesn't work that way. That's just how it is. Let's read some of these comments. This poster says, not the asshole at all. You ordered food that everyone wanted, including her. She's just mad that others were enjoying things she doesn't like. Honestly, I'd keep the distance going in the friendship. Who has time to cater that much to one person? This next person says, not the asshole. You made sure everyone had something to eat. She didn't have to eat sushi or pay for it, so I don't see how she was being singled out. This next poster says, not the asshole. You handled the food situation where no one is eating what they don't want to eat, and everyone pays for what they ate. So I don't know why she is mad. The OP actually responded to this and said, she said we singled her out because of the sushi, but we asked her first. In the end, I didn't even ask her for her part of the food in the end because we haven't talked. I was planning this for over a month, so I was happy to see everyone together, and then this happened, and honestly, the movie was kind of ruined for me, because now I will remember this if it doesn't get resolved. In addition, we're in our 30s now. I can kind of understand like teenagers doing this, like our brains aren't fully developed and we're doing goofy stuff all the time. But if you guys are in your 30s, girly pop needs to start going to therapy. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, this next one is from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for pretending to think beans and chili are woke to prank my cousin who's obsessed with being anti-woke and who loves chili? My cousin is known for making chili, and he's good at it. He makes his own chili flakes from his secret combination of various dried chilies. It has a very nice kick. It's like the perfect amount of spice. It's hot, but not too hot. He also always adds kidney beans, not canned beans either. Anyways, for the past 2 or 3 years, cousin has become obsessed with all this bullshit about what is or isn't woke, and how woke things are the end of the world. He's always been a good dude, so I don't know what his bag is about, but he's completely obsessed. It is annoying. So the other weekend, I was at his place and he was making his famous chili. So I got the idea for a little prank. I was like, I'm surprised you still put beans in your chili. He was like, what? Why? And I was like, beans and chili are so woke. Everyone's saying so. He was like, what do you mean? And he was genuinely concerned, as if this was something serious. I said something like, yeah, beans and chili are woke. The original conservative Texans who made chili only used meat in chili. San Francisco liberals started adding beans to the chili in the 60s because so many hippies were vegetarian. Now all the woke scientists are saying beans are a better protein source than meat. He didn't say anything to that. I kind of just assumed he'd know I was fucking with him and get the joke. Just yesterday, I was back again at his place and he was making his chili again. There were no beans. It was a totally different chili. This guy's been making his chili with beans for like 15 years. I was like, what's up? Where's the beans? He was like, I don't fuck with that woke shit. I was like, what? He was like, beans and chili are woke. Even you know that. Everyone else was like, what? I was like, dude, I was just fucking with you. He got really angry. He dumped his chili in the sink and told everyone to go home. I thought he was pranking me back or something, but he was serious. The dude totally lost it. He texted me later and said this exact thing. I researched this online and it turns out you really were lying to me. Beans are not woke. How could you do this? We went back and forth about it for a bit. His position is, even though we have historically pranked each other, I went too far, that I betrayed him, that I made him question his chili. I tried to ask him if this at all made him think he cared too much about woke. Like, what if beans and chili was woke? So what? He ignored that and demanded I apologize. Did I take this too far? Not the asshole. This was actually really funny. You challenged his psychosis with like a real chance to question his beliefs, And instead of like reflecting like, is this woke? Why is woke bad? He said, bro, beans are woke as hell. Fellas, is it woke to eat beans and kiss your wife? If beans are woke, maybe that's why these dudes can't find their wife's bean. Can I get an amen? Okay, anyways, look, the anti-woke counterculture obsession is like so beyond parody at this point. Like, I can go on Twitter and some dude will post a picture of like a beautiful woman, and him and a bunch of chuds will be like, oh, dude, yeah, I'm so tired of these woke looking women. Like, if you like this woman as a man, you're gay. And it's like, bro, Jerry, that's my fucking pharmacist from Walgreens. That's just like a normal, beautiful woman that you would encounter like in public. Jerry, focus on your wife. She has cobwebs in her attic, and you're posting about how liking women is woke. Your kids miss you, Jerry. Okay, I'm getting lost. Okay, but my point is that these guys will spin so hard into a psychosis that like something as natural as liking a muscle mommy is actually gay and woke. Like, man, if you see a woman built like Rhea Ripley and you don't get a pickle tingle, like, that might be a you thing, man. I'm sorry. Anyways, let's look at some of these comments. I could go on and on for years about this stuff. Not the asshole. You made him question his beliefs in a smart way, and he got upset. All you did was show him how sensitive he really is. This comment is like 100% on point for me because he got shown that this stupid competition with like imaginary conservatives judging him from afar is completely nonsensical and has no basis in reality. And instead of questioning, is this actually woke? Am I making this a bigger deal than it is? He turned it into, yeah, woke is garbage and I shouldn't put these beans in his chili. Why are people like this? Why? If the beans aren't bothering you, if the beans are woke, what are they doing to you? Not the asshole. He went full snowflake over the woke chili. Nice. Real shit that dude just said. I don't know how much farther this like woke, anti-woke, like imaginary war in conservatives' heads is going to go, but I imagine it is not going to be great for anybody. And at this point, it's gay to like women, so what can you do? This was a really funny story, though. All right, next story. This one is from Today I Fucked Up. Today I fucked up by telling my gay friend I feel uncomfortable with him next to my homophobic dad. I'm a 23-year-old bi guy. Came out of the closet at 16 to my friends, sister, and mother. Friends came out as very supportive, but my mother and sister didn't really like the idea, especially my mother. I didn't come out to my father because of his homophobic views, and ever since I feared he might cut contact with me if he ever finds out. This was something even my mother confirmed to me, telling me that if he found out, I'd probably lose him. My mother also hasn't been very supportive. Every time we discuss it, she talks about it as if I had a problem or a deviation, as if I had been corrupted or perverted by the LGBT propaganda. Regardless, she didn't have a problem with me having LGBT friends. Since then, I've had a pretty normal social life in regards of sexuality. I've met girls and boys and didn't feel the need to hide my sexuality to the world, except for my father. The problem is that because of him, I'm not totally out of the closet, and I still feel like I'm having a double life, hiding from him. Not having a financial stability makes this worse because it makes me unable to react if the worst case scenario happens. Some years ago, I met a man who's my friend nowadays, and he's gay and out of the closet with a supportive family. We started to get off having a friends with benefits relationship, but it evolved into a healthy friendship over time. And although he caught some feelings for me, we discussed this and I expressed to him that I love him as a friend. He indeed is an exceptional friend. He always cares about me. Yesterday, me and my friend were hanging out at a bar that I invited him to. We were having fun, but suddenly my parents arrive. My friend already knew my mother, but it was the first time he saw my father. I started getting anxious, and I told my friend I wanted to speak privately with him for a moment. When he asked me what the matter was, I told him about my father. I told him I was very paranoid about if my father found out about my sexuality, and that I was afraid if he saw me with a gay friend, he would get suspicious. He then asked me if it was because of his camp, effeminate personality. I told him yes. I knew that this was offensive toward him, and I'm really ashamed that I told him this. He then calmly, but seemingly upset, told me he was going to go home. I hugged him, telling him I was really sorry for this. I then went to my parents, and I acted it off as if everything was okay. Shortly after, I texted my friend and apologized to him, and explained to him that I am really paranoid about these kind of situations, and that having a double life is really difficult to me. I understand that he's offended by this, and I'm really ashamed of what I told him. I feel horrible for this. I can't explain how I feel right now, and I can't imagine how I made him feel. TLDR, today I fucked up by telling my gay friend I was uncomfortable with him around my family because I was afraid of my homophobic father, from whom I hide the fact I am bisexual. This one is really tough. This one definitely hits close to home for me. As a queer guy in a relationship with a guy, it took a really long time for me to come out to my family. I was in a relationship with my current partner for like 2 years before I came out to my mom. And then I came out to my dad, but I had the same concern. I was worried if my dad found out that I would get kicked out. My parents were a little more open about it and, you know, not so judgmental. So they weren't quite like these parents who were very unsupportive in just about every single way. But it really ate at me and it made it really hard. And it definitely stopped me from making queer friends, you know, in person. Everyone I knew was online. I don't think you necessarily fucked up, because I think deep down you were not just trying to protect yourself, you were trying to protect your friend. I don't think you need to tell your friend it was because of his mannerisms, but you were right to say, hey, I am concerned. My dad, I don't know how he's going to react, and I don't want it to get weird for either of us. And I don't want it to get weird for me because I don't want my dad to think I'm gay, because I don't know what's going to happen. I feel the same way because I don't know if my dad was going to get violent. I don't know what he would do. And if this guy's father is as bad as he's saying he is, then that's exactly what could happen. And that's really, really scary. I also definitely understand the friend who probably took offense to that. I know a lot of people aren't necessarily used to seeing such openly bigoted, ignorant people around. So to experience that is always unsettling. It is always hard to deal with. I do think you probably didn't need to tell your friend that it was because of his mannerisms that your dad would be like, oh yeah, that's that gay right there. But I don't think you necessarily fucked up. You probably could have been a little more direct with your friend and just said, hey, my dad's kind of a dickhead and he's super homophobic. Can we just meet up later? Overall, this just sucks. You know, it just reminds me how far we do have to go. I hope you find support and happiness in your life. And also, don't give your mom the benefit of the doubt here and don't be like, oh, she's okay. Your mom is just as complicit in this as your father is, because she's over here like, oh, the LGBT propaganda. You can have queer friends, but don't be one of them queers. She's pretty bad too. Let's read some of these comments. This commenter says, you didn't have to tell him it was because of his mannerisms. That's kind of heartbreaking. It would have been much easier to tell him that you were worried your father would figure you out and didn't put his mannerisms into the frame of the conversation. Best thing you can do now is apologize, make sure it's known you don't believe these mannerisms are problematic, and that you're protecting your own livelihood. I 100% agree with this. This next commenter said, I really think anyone in the community will understand you trying to protect yourself from your dad. I understand, anyway. Protect yourself until you are independent enough to leave your parents and rip the band-aid off. I just have a serious talk with your friend later about it. 100%. This next commenter, I'm sure it's difficult and I don't know anything about the situation, but you really need to get out. Figure out the best way to be financially independent as soon as possible and move out. Because this is clearly not a well-kept secret, and the secret keepers in the house clearly don't like that secret. Meaning, you can't truly trust them to keep it. Your life will improve in so many ways, I can't even name them all. Just do what you can and get out. This comment, chef's kiss. My life improved so much when I moved in with my partner to a different state. Not because I was scared of my parents or anything, but because I think for both of us, we wanted to have our own life and really start building it and ask ourselves, like, what do we want from our lives? And it's been so much easier for me to be myself. It's been so much easier for me to embrace the more feminine aspects of myself you know, the more quote unquote queer aspects that are outwardly facing to other people as gay, you know, I still love my masculinity. I love being a himbo type dude, right? And it's just so much easier to be myself away from the judgment of other people. And that is from someone who came from a family that wasn't really against queerness. They just weren't exactly openly supportive of it. So to be in your situation where you have people who are openly antagonizing you for it, man, I can only imagine how much happier you're going to be when you get out of there and build a life for your own where you can truly be yourself. I am wishing nothing but the best for you because, man, that shit is really, really difficult. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. Let me know what you think about these stories in the comments. Maybe you disagree with some of my takes. After all, I'm just a dude. And if you ever come across any great stories or one of your own, feel free to send them to my email. Thanks for watching, my friends. It's good to be back. Until next time.